Have you ever really thought about what it takes to just pack up and start over in a brand new country? It's a journey so many people face, and it's full of challenges for sure, but also some incredible growth. So today, we're going to see that whole experience through the eyes of one person, a guy named Wilker, as he navigates the overwhelming, exciting, and ultimately life-changing process of making London his new home. You can just feel the culture shock in that quote, can't you? I mean, imagine landing in a city and hearing more languages on a single street than you can even name. That exact mix of, wow, this is amazing, and oh my gosh, I am so lost, that's the feeling that really defined his first few days in London. So let's rewind and go right back to the beginning. Now, Wilker wasn't totally new to moving. He'd already made the jump from Brazil to Portugal. But he found out real quick that London, well, London was a whole different league. It wasn't just big, it was this massive, sprawling city, just buzzing with cultures from every corner of the globe. Before he could even begin to process all that, Wilker hit his first major brick wall: finding a place to live. London's housing market is famously tough, and without any UK references, he was basically locked out. He actually spent almost a month living in a hostel, just desperately trying to find a room he could actually afford. But, facing the problems is only half the story, right? The real journey of adaptation is all about how you solve them. So let's dig into how Wilker started to learn the ropes, figuring out all those unwritten rules and practical things you need to know to survive in a city like London. And it wasn't just one big thing. It was 100 little things every single day. He had to get used to driving on the left side of the road, which is jarring for anyone. But even something as simple as taking the tube was a whole new world. It's so quiet and reserved compared to the loud, lively public transport he was used to in Brazil. Every single day was a new lesson. And then, of course, you've got the weather. Coming from a much warmer climate, the famously gray, rainy, and constantly changing British weather meant a total wardrobe overhaul. He learned pretty fast to always have an umbrella and to master the art of dressing in layers. Yeah, and some lessons you just have to learn the hard way. He was used to simple paper tickets, so London's Oyster card system had this painful little rule hidden inside. If you forget to tap out when you leave the station, boom, you get charged the maximum possible fare. It's a classic newcomer mistake, and believe me, it cost him more than a few times. So once he kind of had the logistics down, the next big hurdle was the language. Now, he knew some English, but trying to keep up with fast-paced conversations and all the different accents was a real struggle. So he just dove in headfirst. He'd watch British TV with the subtitles on, practice with his flatmates, his colleagues. He even went to language exchanges. And slowly but surely, his confidence just started to build. Okay, so once the basic survival stuff was covered, the journey started to shift. This next phase is all about moving beyond just adapting and starting to truly build a life. To make this huge, overwhelming city finally feel like, home. And his job as a van driver was a huge part of this process. And it was absolutely grueling. I mean, just think about this schedule. A 12-hour workday, starting before the sun is even up, fighting London's crazy traffic. His lunch break, often just 20 minutes, eaten right there in the van. And the scale of that work, it's just staggering. An average of 80 to 100 deliveries every single day. This wasn't just a job. It was like a daily, intensive crash course on his new city, taking him into every single neighborhood and forcing him to interact with dozens and dozens of people from all walks of life. And through all that hard work, the pieces of a real life started to fall into place. See, integration isn't some big event. It's all these small, consistent things. Finding a favorite park, connecting with other immigrants who really got what he was going through. And maybe most important of all, staying connected to his daughter Joycey back in Portugal with those regular video calls. When you face all of that, the housing struggles, the language barrier, that exhausting job, you really only have two choices. You give up or you get stronger. And Wilker, he got stronger. He developed this deep sense of resilience, learning not just to put up with tough situations, but to actually bounce back from them and just keep pushing forward. So let's see what happens next, because this journey of adaptation didn't just end with him finding a home. It actually sparked something totally new, a real passion for learning, and a quest to understand this multicultural world around him on an even deeper level. And this is where his journey takes a really fascinating turn. He hadn't just learned English to survive, he'd opened a door. He realized that with every new language he could learn, he could build another bridge to all the incredibly diverse people he was meeting every single day. His curiosity just completely took over. Suddenly, he's practicing Italian with the staff at a local restaurant. He gets inspired to learn Romanian from his colleagues, and he's using apps and textbooks for French and German. The entire city of London basically became his own personal language lab. It's amazing. And see, for him, this was never just some hobby. Learning languages became his way of truly, genuinely connecting. Every new phrase wasn't just a word, it was another key to unlocking and understanding the different cultures that now made up his home. And that brings us to the conclusion of his story. Through all that adaptation, integration, and growth, Wilker completely transformed himself. He became something more than just a Brazilian immigrant living in London. What he became is something we call transnational. And it just means that his identity isn't defined by one single country anymore. He has these deep roots in Brazil from his heritage, a powerful connection to Portugal through his daughter, and his whole new life that he's built for himself in the UK. It's a kind of blended global identity. This really just sums up his entire journey perfectly, doesn't it? He arrived totally overwhelmed, facing these massive hurdles. But in overcoming them, he didn't just survive, he actually grew. He became more resilient, more open-minded, and he forged this completely new identity for himself in this incredible global city. Wilker's story gives us some really powerful answers, from finding community and routine to just plain understanding and connection. But it also leaves us with this final thought to really chew on. In our world that's so interconnected and always on the move, what are the essential ingredients that really transform a foreign place into a true home?